Gentlemen, what if I told you that the cooking oil sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now could be silently planning your heart's funeral? What if that same oil you've been using for years, thinking you're making healthy choices, is actually laying the groundwork for a massive heart attack that could strike without warning? You see, there's a devastating truth that the food industry doesn't want you to know. A truth so shocking that when you discover it, you'll never look at your kitchen the same way again. Right now, as you're watching this video, millions of men over 50 are unknowingly poisoning their hearts, meal by meal, drop by drop, with cooking oils that are marketed as healthy but are actually cardiac time bombs. The statistics are terrifying, gentlemen. Every 36 seconds in America, a man dies from heart disease. That's nearly 2,400 men every single day. But here's what's truly frightening. Most of these men had no idea that their daily cooking choices were accelerating their journey toward cardiac catastrophe. Picture this. You wake up tomorrow morning feeling perfectly fine. You make your usual breakfast, using the same cooking oil you've always used. You go about your day, feeling strong and healthy. But inside your arteries, something sinister is happening. Inflammation is building. Plaque is forming. Your blood vessels are slowly becoming battlegrounds where your heart is losing the war. This isn't some distant future scenario, gentlemen. This is happening right now in kitchens across America to men just like you. Men who think they're making smart choices. Men who believe they're taking care of their health. Men who have no idea that the very oil they're cooking with is sabotaging their cardiovascular system from the inside out. The cruel irony, many of these deadly oils are sitting on the health food shelves in grocery stores. They're promoted by celebrities, endorsed by fitness gurus, and recommended by people who should know better. But the science tells a different story, a story of oxidative damage, arterial inflammation, and hearts that are crying out for help. But here's where this story takes a turn toward hope, gentlemen. What if I told you that switching to the right cooking oils could literally add years to your life? What if I told you that 4 specific oils have been scientifically proven to protect your heart, reduce inflammation, and potentially reverse decades of arterial damage? Today, you're going to discover the truth that could save your life. You're going to learn which 4 oils are literally destroying hearts across America, and more importantly, which 4 oils could become your greatest allies in the fight for cardiovascular health. Gentlemen, by the end of this video, you'll possess knowledge that most men will never have. Knowledge that could be the difference between celebrating your 70th, 80th, or even 90th birthday with your family, or becoming another statistic in America's heart disease epidemic. This isn't just another health video filled with generic advice you've heard before. This is your personal roadmap to cardiac protection based on cutting-edge research that many doctors don't even know about yet. You see, the relationship between cooking oils and heart health is far more complex and dangerous than most people realize. When you heat certain oils, they undergo a chemical transformation that turns them into what I call cardiac poison. These oils release compounds that attack your arterial walls like microscopic knives, creating inflammation that sets the stage for heart attacks and strokes. The temperature in your frying pan becomes a laboratory where healthy oils transform into heart-destroying weapons. But it gets worse, gentlemen. Some of these dangerous oils don't just cause immediate damage, they accumulate in your system over time. Every meal becomes a deposit in what I call your cardiac debt account. And just like financial debt, this cardiac debt compounds with interest. The damage accelerates, the inflammation spreads, and your heart pays the ultimate price. The 4 oils I'm about to reveal to you are responsible for more heart attacks than most people realize. They're hiding in plain sight, marketed as healthy alternatives, sitting in pantries across America. Right now, there's probably at least one of these cardiac criminals in your kitchen, masquerading as a health food. The first deadly oil has been linked to a 32% increase in heart disease risk. The second has been shown to increase arterial inflammation by up to 40%. The third creates compounds so toxic that they're banned in several European countries. And the fourth, well, the fourth might be the most dangerous of all, because it's the one most men think is protecting their hearts when it's actually destroying them. But here's what gives me hope for you, gentlemen. Just as there are oils that destroy, there are oils that heal, 4 magnificent oils that work like cardiac medicine, protecting your arteries, reducing inflammation, and potentially reversing years of damage. These aren't exotic, expensive oils that you can only find in specialty stores. These are readily available, scientifically proven heart protectors that could transform your cardiovascular health, starting with your very next meal. The research behind these protective oils is staggering. Studies show they can reduce heart disease risk by up to 50%. They can lower dangerous inflammation markers, improve arterial flexibility, and even help remove existing plaque from your arteries. Think of them as your heart's personal bodyguards, standing watch against the forces that want to destroy your cardiovascular system. This information could literally save your life, gentlemen. But more than that, it could save you from the slow, frightening decline that comes with heart disease. No more chest pains that make you wonder if this is the one. No more shortness of breath climbing stairs. No more fear every time you feel your heart skip a beat. Before we dive into these life-changing revelations, gentlemen, I need to know you're truly committed to your heart health. If you're ready to take control of your cardiovascular destiny, if you're prepared to make the changes necessary to protect your heart, then hit that subscribe button right now and ring the notification bell. This channel is dedicated to giving you the truth about men's health after 50, the truth that could add decades to your life. And here's how I know you're paying attention. If this information resonates with you, if you're ready to protect your heart starting today, type the number 1 in the comments below. If you're not quite ready to make these changes, type 0. Your engagement tells me how many men are truly serious about their heart health, and it helps me create more content that could save lives. I also want to hear from you personally, gentlemen. In the comments, tell me, have you ever had a heart scare? A moment when you realized your heart health might not be what you thought it was? Your stories help other men realize they're not alone in this journey, and sometimes sharing your experience could be the wake-up call another man needs to save his life. Deadly oil 1. Corn oil, the silent artery assassin. Gentlemen, corn oil might look innocent sitting on the grocery store shelf, but it's one of the most dangerous things you can put in your body. This golden liquid is actually a cardiovascular nightmare disguised as a healthy cooking option. Here's what makes corn oil so deadly. It's loaded with omega-6 fatty acids, specifically linoleic acid. Now, your body needs some omega-6, but corn oil delivers it in such massive quantities that it throws your entire inflammatory system into chaos. We're talking about a 20.1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids, when the ideal ratio should be closer to 4.1. When you consume excessive omega-6 fatty acids, your body starts producing inflammatory compounds called prostaglandins and leukotrienes. Think of these as your body's internal fire starters. They ignite inflammation in your arterial walls, creating the perfect environment for plaque formation. It's like pouring gasoline on a campfire. The inflammation spreads rapidly and becomes impossible to control. But the real danger happens when you heat corn oil. At cooking temperatures, corn oil undergoes a process called lipid peroxidation. This creates harmful compounds called aldehydes and free radicals that attack your arterial walls like microscopic bullets. These compounds are so toxic that they're actually used in research laboratories to induce heart disease in test animals. Dr. James DiNicolantonio, a leading cardiovascular researcher, found that men who consume high amounts of corn oil have a 32% higher risk of heart disease compared to those who avoid it. That's not a small increase, gentlemen. That's a life-threatening elevation in risk. The tragedy is that corn oil has been marketed as heart-healthy for decades. Food companies have spent millions convincing you that it's a smart choice for cooking. But the science tells a different story. Every time you use corn oil for frying, sautéing, or baking, you're essentially bathing your food in compounds that promote arterial inflammation and heart disease. Even more concerning is corn oil's impact on what doctors call small, dense LDL particles. These are a particularly dangerous type of cholesterol that easily penetrates arterial walls and contributes to plaque formation. Corn oil consumption increases these harmful particles by up to 25%, creating a double assault on your cardiovascular system. Deadly oil 2, soybean oil, the inflammation generator. If corn oil is the silent assassin, then soybean oil is the inflammation generator that's destroying hearts across America. This oil is everywhere, gentlemen, in processed foods, restaurant meals, and unfortunately, in many home kitchens where men think they're making healthy choices. Soybean oil contains an astronomical amount of linoleic acid, even more than corn oil. We're talking about 51% of its composition being this inflammatory omega-6 fatty acid. When you consume soybean oil regularly, you're essentially turning your cardiovascular system into an inflammation factory. Recent research from the University of California revealed something terrifying about soybean oil. It doesn't just promote inflammation, it actually alters your genetic expression. The oil triggers genes that produce inflammatory proteins, creating a cascade of arterial damage that can last for weeks after just one meal cooked in soybean oil. Here's what happens inside your body when you consume soybean oil. Your white blood cells become hyperactive, treating your own arterial walls as foreign invaders. This creates what scientists call sterile inflammation. Your immune system attacks your own cardiovascular system. It's like having friendly fire in the war for your heart health. The processing of soybean oil makes it even more dangerous. Most commercial soybean oil is extracted using hexane, a petroleum-based solvent. While most of the hexane is removed, traces remain, and these chemical residues can accumulate in your tissues over time. You're not just getting inflammatory oils, you're getting chemical contaminants that your body was never designed to process. But perhaps the most frightening aspect of soybean oil is its ubiquity. It's hidden in thousands of processed foods under names like vegetable oil or plant oil. You might be avoiding it at home while unknowingly consuming massive quantities every time you eat out or buy packaged foods. Studies show that men who consume high amounts of soybean oil have inflammatory markers that are 40% higher than those who avoid it. These aren't just numbers, gentlemen. These are harbingers of heart attacks, strokes, and cardiovascular death. Deadly oil. 3. Canola oil. The processed poison. Gentlemen, canola oil might be the most deceptive oil on this list. It's been promoted as heart-healthy, it's recommended by many nutritionists, and it's probably sitting in your pantry right now. But the truth about canola oil is far more sinister than its marketing would have you believe. First, let's talk about what canola oil actually is. It's made from rapeseed, a plant that was originally used for industrial purposes, not food. The name canola was created by marketers because rapeseed oil didn't sound appealing to consumers. This should be your first red flag. When a food product needs a marketing makeover to seem palatable, you should question what you're really putting in your body. The processing of canola oil is an industrial nightmare. The seeds are crushed and heated to extreme temperatures, then treated with petroleum-based solvents to extract the oil. The oil is then refined, bleached, and deodorized using chemicals that would make your head spin. What you end up with bears no resemblance to anything found in nature. During this intensive processing, canola oil develops trans fats. Yes, the same trans fats that have been linked to heart disease and are now banned in many foods. While the levels are considered low by government standards, even small amounts of trans fats can increase your heart disease risk by up to 23%. But here's where canola oil becomes truly dangerous. When you heat it for cooking, it releases toxic compounds, including formaldehyde, benzene, and acrolein. These chemicals are known carcinogens and cardiovascular toxins. You're literally poisoning your food and your heart every time you cook with canola oil. Research from the University of Manitoba found that canola oil consumption leads to increased oxidative stress in heart tissue. The oil generates reactive oxygen species that attack your cardiac muscle cells, potentially leading to heart failure over time. Think of it as rust forming in your heart. Slow, progressive, and ultimately deadly. The most tragic part is that many men switch to canola oil thinking they were protecting their hearts. Food companies have spent billions promoting it as a healthy alternative to saturated fats. But the reality is that you've simply traded one problem for an even worse one. Deadly oil 4, vegetable shortening, the cardiac time bomb. Gentlemen, if the other 3 oils are dangerous, then vegetable shortening is a cardiac time bomb waiting to explode. This solid white substance might look harmless, but it represents everything wrong with modern food processing and its impact on heart health. Vegetable shortening is created through a process called hydrogenation, where liquid vegetable oils are bombarded with hydrogen gas under extreme heat and pressure. This process creates a solid fat that's shelf-stable and perfect for commercial baking. It's also perfect for destroying your cardiovascular system. The hydrogenation process creates massive amounts of trans fats, the artificial fats that are so dangerous they've been banned in many countries. These trans fats don't just raise your bad cholesterol, they simultaneously lower your good cholesterol, creating a double assault on your heart health. It's like having both the accelerator and brake pedals pressed at the same time in your cardiovascular system. Trans fats from vegetable shortening integrate into your cell membranes, making them rigid and dysfunctional. Your heart muscle cells become less efficient at contracting. Your arterial walls become less flexible, and your entire cardiovascular system begins to break down at the cellular level. Studies have shown that consuming just 2 grams of trans fats per day, that's less than what's in one commercially baked muffin made with shortening, increases your heart attack risk by 23%. And here's the frightening part. Trans fats accumulate in your body over time. Every cookie, every pie crust, every fried food made with shortening adds to your cardiac debt. The inflammation caused by vegetable shortening is unlike anything else. It creates what researchers call cytokine storms, massive inflammatory responses that can damage your arterial walls within hours of consumption. Your immune system goes into overdrive, attacking your own cardiovascular system as if it were under siege. Perhaps most concerning is shortening's impact on what doctors call endothelial function, your arteries' ability to dilate and contract properly. Vegetable shortening consumption reduces this function by up to 30%, essentially aging your arteries decades beyond your chronological age. Protective Oil 1. Extra virgin olive oil. The Mediterranean miracle. Gentlemen, if there's one oil that could single-handedly transform your heart health, it's extra virgin olive oil. This isn't just cooking oil, it's liquid medicine that has been protecting hearts for thousands of years. What makes extra virgin olive oil so powerful is its unique composition of monounsaturated fats, particularly oleic acid, which comprises about 75% of the oil. Unlike the inflammatory omega-6 fats in processed oils, oleic acid actually reduces inflammation throughout your cardiovascular system. It's like having a fire extinguisher for the arterial inflammation that leads to heart attacks. The real magic happens with olive oil's polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that protect your arteries from oxidative damage. These compounds, including hydroxytyrosol and oleuropein, act like bodyguards for your heart, neutralizing free radicals before they can damage your arterial walls. Research from the Predimed study, which followed over 7,000 people for 5 years, found that men who consumed at least 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil daily had a 30% lower risk of heart attack and stroke. That's not a marginal improvement, gentlemen. That's life-changing protection. Protective Oil 2, Avocado Oil, the heat-stable hero. Avocado oil is your answer to high-heat cooking without the cardiovascular damage. With a smoke point of 520 degrees, it remains stable even under intense cooking conditions, never breaking down into toxic compounds like processed oils do. The monounsaturated fats in avocado oil, primarily oleic acid, actively reduce inflammation and improve cholesterol profiles. Studies show regular consumption can increase your good HDL cholesterol by up to 15%, while reducing dangerous oxidized LDL particles. Protective Oil 3, Coconut Oil, the metabolic protector. Despite years of controversy, coconut oil has emerged as a heart-protective powerhouse. Its medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs, bypass normal fat digestion, going directly to your liver, where they're converted to energy rather than stored as arterial plaque. Research shows coconut oil consumption increases HDL cholesterol more effectively than any other dietary fat, while its antimicrobial properties help reduce the chronic infections that contribute to arterial inflammation. Protective Oil 4, Grass-fed butter, the traditional protector. Real grass-fed butter contains nutrients that actively protect your heart, including vitamin K2, which directs calcium away from your arteries and into your bones, and conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, which has powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Unlike processed spreads and margarine, grass-fed butter provides fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K that your heart needs to function optimally. Gentlemen, you now possess knowledge that could literally save your life. The 4 deadly oils we've discussed today, corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil, and vegetable shortening, are silently destroying hearts across America. But you don't have to be another statistic. The 4 protective oils, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, and grass-fed butter, are your weapons in the fight for cardiovascular health. Starting with your very next meal, you have the power to choose protection over destruction, health over disease, life over death. This isn't about perfection, gentlemen. It's about progress. Every time you choose olive oil over corn oil, every time you cook with avocado oil instead of canola oil, you're making a deposit in your cardiovascular health account. You're choosing to live longer, stronger, and healthier. Your heart is counting on you to make these changes. Your family needs you around for decades to come. Your future self will thank you for the choices you make starting today. If this video has opened your eyes to the truth about cooking oils and heart health, smash that like button and subscribe for more life-saving information. Share this video with every man you care about. You might just save a life. And remember, gentlemen, your heart health is in your hands. Choose wisely. Choose life. Choose the oils that will protect your heart for decades to come.